The next manga I read was Fate Stay Night Heaven's Feel, and it's a long title, and I'm not sure who to make out as the creator of this, because this is a complicated history.
Yeah.
But Type Moon owns the whole thing, the company called Type Moon. Originally, this is based on the game, so let's just leave it at that for now. You can hold these two. So this is the first volume of them.
Oh, look how pretty.
It's amazing. And this one is actually in Japanese. So I read 3 of these in Japanese. I'm very proud of myself.
Good.
Yeah. It's about this game. No, it's not a game. It's a war.
This is a war!
Every like 60 or something years, there's this war in a city called Fuyuki in Japan.
It's a fictional city.
A fictional city of Japan.
But it's based on the real one.
Yeah, it's based on Kobe, which we visited, which was amazing. We had to. The city.
This is based on the city.
It's based on the city. So each like 60 years, they like 7 mages are picked out by the Holy Grail from the Bible.
In this world, cups have free will.
Yeah, they have free
Or
will.
this particular cup.
This particular cup. They pick out 7 masters, mages, to have 7 servants, which are historical figures. Cleopatra could be a servant. Who else?
King Arthur.
King Arthur, Alexander the Great could be a... Like, you know, you get the story. Achilles, for example.
Myths and legends and sometimes real people.
Yeah. They have to kill the other servants to obtain the Holy Grail and to obtain its magic. And they get a wish that everyone wants. It's about Shiro. Shiro. This boy who is a mage, but he's a very bad mage. Yeah. And he is just dragged into this war. He didn't sign up, he didn't want to be in it, but he is. But he decides to fight on anyways, because he really, really wants to be a hero. Which is kind of sad. Because this is originally based on a game, so there is like, there's 3 different versions of it, of how it goes. So they have made 3 different mangas. I have bought this and one other, but I've only started reading this one. Is my favorite route or is it not? I don't know. So far the manga is really good, but it's so slow.
Yeah.
It's like I've been going through these volumes, and in the 3rd one they're still explaining the rules. And I know the rules because I watched the anime and I watched this Anyways, it's still very good. It's great art and yeah, they're just beautiful. These are the girls, important girls in this. Yeah, so no, I really recommend the anime. I will talk about this in another video because it's so great.
Yeah, it is. Next up, I have.
Yeah, I've read this before.
Yeah. The totality, except like a few short stories.
Yeah, there's a short. Yeah,
I haven't read those, but the main Poppy War, the main books of the Poppy War series by R.F. Kuang, we love. I've heard a lot about these books from before, like my sister read them, my friend read them, I have now read them, finally. It's been ages. I've heard lots of different things. Most people, like me, love them. Obviously, yeah, I love them. I love them
too.
I fucking love them. Some people say that they're too heavy-handed, that R.F. Kuang, she really has something to say and she really wants you to know. I don't know if I got that same sense. Like, so the Poppy War series it's based off the Sino-Chinese War, so the war between Japan and China. And also the Poppy War refers to the Opium Wars, where Britain got China intoxicated with opium and made a lot of them addicted to opium. So it's social commentary on the effects and consequences of imperialism and colonialism, racism, classism, just history, really. It's about Reem. She's an orphan and she's adopted by this family who doesn't really like her. Like, they're really mean to her, and she decides that she does not want to get married off to someone she doesn't know and have kids and all of that. She decides to study for the Keiju. which is a test to get into the military academy of this world, or the Nikara, which is the country she lives in. So she decides to get into the academy, and she does get in. It says on the back of the book, so it's not really a surprise. The nation is preparing for the Third Poppy War because they believe that the Federation of Mugen, which is a small island country to the east here, will invade. And they're right. So it's about her, and then she also figures out that she has shamanic powers. So it's really just her journey through the wars of her country, and her figuring out her place in the world, basically. And as you can tell, it's a lot of books, or it's a lot of paper. And this is well read. Yeah, so it's very much social commentary. Everything that has to do with the war, that doesn't have to do with like shamanic powers or magic, is something that you could find in real life. Like nothing is made up in that sense. Like a lot of the bloodshed and the things that people do to each other, think of each other, is based on real things. Real things that people thought, real things that people experienced, and real things that happened. And I think that's where a lot of people kind of draw the line, because they're like, it's supposed to be fantasy. Like, we don't know when something's real or when something's made up. Look it up.
When I read those books, I read it when the last one came out, and I aged a long time, because I think this is heavy fantasy.
Yeah.
But anyways, really... I did not draw the connection between the Sino-Chinese War and the Opium Wars. I had some Chinese history classes later, and I learned more about it, and I was like, you know what? It actually was the same. Like it has so many similarities and all of that. So that people say you can't read it without like being reminded of reality it's bullshit, honestly.
It's
I don't believe them.
Like, I understand the notion of wanting to escape, like using fantasy as an escapism. But tell me, what fantasy have you read that does not draw upon real life issues? Like the Hunger Games. Like, we don't even have to explain that one. Even Fourth Wing, even Powerless does.
There's always something, like maybe not the dragons, but like, come on.
Maybe not the dragons, maybe not his powers, but the social hierarchy, the structure of the world is very much taken from the real world. Like, even this one, these people have magical abilities, sure, but persecution is nothing new. Like, it's been happening in our world too. So yeah, I don't really understand that point, but that's just me, and that's just us, I guess. At least I really enjoyed these books. I did really enjoy her writing style, and I think it's very different from like other fantasies like Fourth Wing and Powerless maybe, and even like Percy Jackson. Even this one, because this is also like first point of view compared to this one, which is not, it's a third point of view. But I really enjoyed it. I do like a third point of view. I really enjoyed these books, and I'm so glad that I read them finally.
Okay, the next one I will talk about.
My sister has no life, so she's been reading a lot.
Oh, this is my favorite.
Yeah. That's a nice one.
Okay, so this is my favorite book. Heaven of Your Blessing. It is so good. I cannot stress this enough. You might have heard of it. I don't know. It's another of the Chinese web novels made into physical novel. One of the best books I've ever read. And don't judge it by its cover. You will love it if you try. It's about it's about this him. His name is Shilan. I'll put a picture of it. Shilian. Yeah. I don't know how to pronounce Chinese.
Chinese names are really cool, but
they're really cool.
For us Western people, it takes a bit of practice.
Exactly. He is a god that has been banished from heaven twice, and now he's returning for the third time. This is set in ancient China, so it has a lot of... It's based on like the Taoism, however you want to call it, and Buddhism of the time. Cultivating the spirit and the mind to eventually get immortal. That's what everything's about. As I said, he was banished. He comes back to heaven. He's sent down to earth again to protect humans from ghosts and spirits. and he meets the Ghost King
I have a
watching.
picture of me right here.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's pictures in the books. Yeah. So he
Very nice
meets
pictures.
watching
Or drawings.
at Earth, and together they unravel mysteries about his own banishment. There's just so many characters in this, and so many, like, that was really confusing in the start because they all have Chinese names, which I think is great, but you'll get there. You get used to it. It's from the author Mu Shang-Tongshu. She is amazing at writing stories. This is her third one, and it's her best one, and she just keeps getting better. Like, I've read all of her books now, and they just keep getting better. She's amazing. I have read this before, so I was rereading them. So now I read volume 4 to 7. I only have one volume left, and I'm procrastinating to start it because I don't want it to end. Again.
You have read it before though.
I have read it before.
Yeah. I've read it too.
She read it too. Because I was
Yeah,
pestering her a lot.
She was pestering me, so I was like, okay, fine, I'll read it. And it was really good, so.
Yes. Like, this is a beloved favorite among all, like, Danmei fans. Like, Chinese voice love fans. Love this.
I feel like this is the first one a lot of people read.
It is. It was the first one I read.
Me too. There you go.
Yes. It's amazing, so I cannot recommend this enough. And then I also read another Danmei series by the same author as Heaven the Precious Blessing. And this one's called The Scum Villain's Self-Saving System. This one's really fun.
That's a funny name.
It's really fun. The premise is fun. The main character of this series is reading a web novel when he tragically dies. And he is transported into this same web novel he was reading that he kind of hated. And he is reincarnated as the villain of this web novel. His mission becomes basically saving himself, because as the villain he was meant to die in a horrible way. So he has to come on the hero's good side and survive.
That's so funny.
That is actually very funny. So
Very meta.
very meta.
Love a good meta.
This was the first book she wrote, and she really is a critique of the web novel, like, kind of industry.
Wow.
Which is really great. It's really great. So I really recommend it. It's very interesting. It was very fun, and it's short. It's only, like, of the main story, it's only 3 volumes, and then the 4th volume is just side stories, which I'm reading right now, and they're fun. Yeah.
The next one that I read on my phone, so I don't have the physical copy of it, but it is Powerless by Lauren Roberts. So Powerless, I'm sure you can't go anywhere without having, or like you can, obviously. But if you're in the book space, like, you have heard of Powerless. So it's about this world where there was a plague, and for some reason, this plague killed the majority of people, and then left some, as plagues do. Yeah, so some of the people that survived the plague were blessed. They got magical abilities, while the others were left in the dust. They got no abilities, or really, really bad ones, which I'm not really sure what really qualifies as a bad one. I can't remember really what a bad one was. But anyways, so the story starts, or it's about this girl called Peyton. Was not blessed by the plague. She actually got no powers at all, but she learned to fake that she had powers, so now she pretends to be a psychic, because that's like a lesser sort of ability, so she's called a mundane, because it's not like spitting fire or making clones of yourself, which is like elite. That's elite stuff. So she lives in the slums, because that's where the mundanes live. And she also can't tell anyone that she's powerless, because then she will get murdered. The story kind of like takes off when she tries to steal something from someone who very conveniently is the prince, or one of the princes of the kingdom, who's also supposed to be the enforcer, future enforcer. She steals something from him, and then something happens and she saves him from someone, and then the people decide, we want her to fight in this annually games that I can't remember the name of, actually. I can't remember the name. But anyways, it's kind of like, it's a Hunger Game-esque thing where people with magical powers do these trials yeah, she's kind of just thrown in there, trying her best to survive, while of course there's a bit of romance between her and the future enforcer Kai. Yeah, that's what the book's about. That was probably really badly explained. Scary to say this online, but I was not a big fan of that title. Just, I think because it's romantasy and the romance is of course very much in the focus, it just didn't do it for me. I felt like the rest of the plot and the world building, it felt underdeveloped to me. That's a shame, because I think it could have been really good for me if the author had different priorities, basically. But it wasn't, so like that's fine. It was a good time at times, but also felt kind of a drag for me most of the time. So not a big fan, but I can see why people like it. Don't come at me, please. I can see why people like it. It just wasn't for me. That's okay. Unfortunately, that's okay. And I will probably not be continuing the series. I know that the last book came out this year, I think, and then like a second little novella came out also not long ago. So I'm really happy for the author and for the fans of the book series that they get to see a conclusion. Unfortunately, my eyes will not read those pages. And that's okay. That's okay.
Another book I read was Dark Heir by C.S. Pakat. I'm not sure how to say her name. Which is the second book in the Dark Rise series. So the first book follows Will, or both of them do, yeah. Follows Will and Violet. And Will is on the run from the man who killed his mother. And he is saved by this girl Violet. And together they join the stewards, which is like their knights that fight for the light. And in this world, there has previously been a war between the dark and the light, like forces. People from the past are being reincarnated into the new world, like as new people. They don't remember anything from the past, but the abilities they had is still with them. Will and Violet are joining the stewards to fight against the light, against the dark, I mean, not the light, against the dark. That's where we're at. There are going to be 3 books, and I think the second one really picked up, it really picked up like the plot, and I'm very excited for the next one.
Cool.
Yeah.
The next book I read is actually non-fiction. Who would have thought? It is called The Great Empires of the Ancient World. And I wanted to read this because I wanted more knowledge of the ancient world and empires. Because I'm writing a fantasy book series. And I wanted some more knowledge of how these ancient empires worked and how they fell and what made them special, really. So it's different authors, and then Thomas Harrison is the editor, so I'll just credit him, I guess. There's different authors who are experts in their particular field. So the empires that they go through, some of them there's a discourse if some of them are actually empires, because some of them didn't actually conquer a lot of other nations, but they're still in here. So the different ones are the New Kingdom of Egypt, and then the, I don't know how to say this, Hittites.
Yeah, probably.
Hittites. You know what, you get it. Assyria and Babylonia, Persia, Athens, Alexander the Great and his successors. That was really interesting. The Parthian and early Sasanian empires. You know what, I'm not sure how to say this. I'm just like saying them.
You get that blue eye stare.
The Roman Empire and the early empires of South Asia and the early empires of China. And it's really interesting, like, why they succeeded, why we still remember them, what was the things they did, like how they treated each other and how they treated their citizens. You can tell that I actually did try to take some notes in the beginning. I quickly gave up because I was like, it takes too long. I just want to get through it, but it was really interesting, and now I know things that I didn't know before, so love that for us. Sorry about the lighting. The sun is moving
I think it looks great, honestly.
Yeah, looks amazing.
So the next book is A Hero Born by Jin Young. It's a Legend of the Condor Heroes Volume 1, and it's a very famous book in China. I think it's from the 50s, the 1950s, so it's very old.
That's old.
And it hasn't been 1959 it's from. So I don't think it has been translated before now, or before, 2018. So it's been a while though, but yeah, not that long.
Not that long, no.
Very famous in China, and it's about the Song Empire, which was from 1200 after Christ.
Yeah.
After like modern times. And it's about when a lot of things happened then. Like if you've heard about Genghis Khan, this was when his time, like when he was starting to, before he was starting to take over China. So it's about Gu Jing, I don't know if I say that right, who is the son of a patriot from Song who was murdered. And he grows up in Genghis Khan's army. And it's about his journey. He is going somewhere to be taught in martial arts to basically avenge his father. Yes, it's very, like, it's old and it's Chinese, and it's written in a way that like the POV changes, like it can change mid-sentence, which is very interesting.
Oh, wow.
The thing I didn't like about this is I didn't like how the translator, Chinese names, like given names, has meanings. Like in this, Lily is a name, like in Chinese it's something else. The meaning is a lily, like a flower. So in this book she is like called like Lily Gu, like Lily and then the last name in Chinese, and I didn't like that because it like ruins the flow if you have one, like the first name translated to English and then the last name still in Chinese. So I was not a fan of that.
Just one of the Chinese names.
Yeah, and then they didn't do it in the protagonist's name. Like the protagonist's name is just all Chinese. To me it was just annoying. But I really like the plot, it was fun. And this is just the first volume, so there will be a lot more. And it has that like drama feel, a lot of characters, and they all are like, they're intertwined in a lot of ways. So I like this, I recommend.
Cool.
If you like Chinese history and martial arts. Then I read Yellowface by Rebecca F. Kwang, which was really fun because I only read Poppy War before. She's really good at like making her own story but incorporating things from history and like educating the reader about issues. This one you might have heard about, it's very popular. It's about this writer called June Hayward, who's had a really tough time coming into the writer industry. But her friend Athena Liu, she is talented, she's pretty, she gets like deals with Netflix for her books. But then Athena suddenly dies. June steals her manuscript for this novel she has coming out and publishes it as her own. It creates a lot of issues about pretending to be someone you're not, and can a writer write about an issue not related to them? Which is a really interesting topic, so I really recommend. I like this book. I like the way it was written, and because it's written in first perspective, so I actually really enjoyed it. And just like how she explains things and how she shows you things. I enjoyed it. And you read it too, right?
I did. And I also went to she had an interview talk thing in London that I went to. And it was really interesting listening to her thoughts about the publishing industry and how she was thinking when she wrote her main character and her struggles within the publishing industry. It's really educating and cool to listen to.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I like this one.
So next book that I read, that I just finished today, actually, is The Will of the Many by James Islington. I don't have the physical book because I read it on my phone. It was so good. Man. Where do I begin? Okay, so the story is based on the Roman Empire, where they live in a kind of a hierarchy. The book series is literally called The Hierarchy. So, yeah. And the magic system ties into the hierarchy because there's something called will. What I think will is like energy. I don't know if it's like spiritual energy, but it's like energy you can use for like different things. Like you can use to like lift buildings or like do different things. The thing is, you have to, like, there's a hierarchy, and everyone like in the lower levels of the hierarchy, they seed, which means that they give like half of their will to like someone else, basically. So it's about our main character. His name is Viz, and he's unfortunately, as they also often are, an orphan. He lost his parents due to some trauma from the past, and now he's just living in an orphanage, really, and then he's working in a prison and competing in a fighting ring in his own free time, you know?
As you do.
As you do. And then one day, someone comes into the prison, kind of discovers him while he's working, and he later ends up being adopted by this man. And this man tasks him with finding out what happened to his brother, who went to an academy and died while he was there. So this man wants him to figure out what happened to his brother by going to the academy himself. Yeah, it's really exciting. Lots of things happen, and it does this thing that I love with a lot of anime, that it's kind of like it starts by just like this little task, like he's just going in there looking for like clues to figure out what happened, and then it just ends up being a lot bigger than what you kind of expect in the beginning. So I love that. This is also a really funny character to follow. He's really smart for a main character. Yeah, the world building and the magic system is really well made, I think, and also the ending. I'm so excited for the next one. Just like raises so many questions that I hope we get the answer to. I'm not sure if this is going to be a duology or if it's going to be like a series with more books than 2. So I'm excited to figure out. The next book is out in November, I believe. So soon. Very exciting. Yay.
Next is The Captive Prince Trilogy, which is also by C.S. Prakat, as the same as Dark Rise. This was her first novel like she came out with, and I realized when I read it, because I read it before in 2023, and then I was like not so long ago in August, I was scrolling on Pinterest, and all this art came up, and I was like, okay, I gotta reread it. So I did, and I flew by. I realized at the end of it that this was like, I think kind of a web novel actually. Yeah, she wrote like a thanks at the end, and then all the usernames who had read it while it's released. So it took like almost 10 years, I think, for it to finish. I can find the exact dates. I read this one on my phone, and it's a lot of mixed reviews about this book, but to me, I honestly really enjoyed it. And like, if you want enemies to lovers, like this is real enemies to lovers. They try to kill each other and not just pretend to. So it's about Damon. Damon is the prince of Achilles, but he is captured by his half-brother and sent to the enemy nation Ver as a slave to the prince there, Lauren. No one knows who he is, and he can't reveal his identity. His goal is to get back to his own country to be the prince that he needs to be.
Yeah.
I really like the dynamic between the two characters, like all the characters, honestly. And I know there is a lot of discourse about things in this book, but I think that she made really clear that some of these things that are in the book are not okay. Like, just because an author writes about a certain issue doesn't mean
they condone it.
Doesn't mean they condone it. So I think she did a great job showing that. Yeah, I just think the characters were really well written, and I can really see their personality through the pages, even though it follows Damon's point of view for the most times. It's still third point of view, but it follows him, the most. Yeah, I really enjoyed, and I recommend. So I think you'd like it.
Okay. It's on my list to read, so I guess we'll see.
Okay, so we saved this for last because we were so positively surprised.
Yeah. I just could see that.
Or I knew it. People said it was good, and I believed them. But like this good, I didn't know.
I don't know.
So this year, the more you know. This year we read Percy Jackson, the whole thing.
We read the whole thing.
Actually, we listened to the audiobooks, which were super great.
Yeah,
I recommend.
They were really good.
They were so good.
The Penguin audiobook, I believe. I don't know.
Yeah,
I think so.
We bought these after because we were so obsessed. So I want to read them physically.
Yeah, I'm gonna reread them.
Oh, they're so beautiful.
They're so beautiful. Look at them.
Okay, should we just explain what it's about for those who don't know?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
No.
I knew it was about Greek gods and stuff, but I didn't know.
Yeah, I
And
knew he was a
about
half-blood.
Yeah, I also knew he was a half-blood.
The story follows Percy Jackson, just a normal kid with dyslexia and ADHD. Yeah, this is the first one, Lightning Thief. Yeah, it follows him. He believes he's totally normal, except for
Struggling at school.
struggling with school and having a really not good stepdad. His mother is great though. She's great. She's lovely. So he figures out that he's a half-blood, so half god, half human, demigod, half-blood. And he's then, after some drama, he's then brought to Camp Half-Blood, where he meets other people like him, or kids like him, who are also half-bloods.
It's a summer camp for
Summer camp.
half-bloods.
Summer camp
So
for
they can be
half-bloods.
safe during the summer.
Yeah. Rest of the year, nah, not that
It's up to
important.
them.
It's up to them, really, if they want to be safe or not. But yeah, so the first book really kicks off when someone steals the lightning bolt of Zeus and is convinced that it's Percy who stole it. So he is sent out on a quest to prove his innocence by finding the bolt and returning it. That's actually the beginning of a much larger story, which is why there's 5 books.
5 books.
Yeah, and it's actually middle grade books, so children's books really. And I'm an adult, and I really enjoyed them.
Yeah, like we found these way too late, I guess, but we enjoyed them so much. And our friend, one of her friends, has been pestering us, or she has not been pestering us enough, I think.
Yeah, no.
But she read them when she was like Percy's age, and she loved them as a child, and she still do. So,
but I think there is kind of a beauty in reading them late, because now that we're older and we have more life experience and we've seen things and read things and just lived life, I guess, you understand a lot more of what the book's really about.
and the
themes that are important, not just the action, which I know, like when you're a kid, like you love the action and
the themes come second.
Yeah, the themes come second. Like sometimes
They come at
like,
all.
Oh, this is a cool story, and then when you're older, you're like really thinking about, wow, that was a good message, and that was a good.
It was good representation, those kind of things.
For me, it's a 5 out of 5.
Yeah,
stars.
me too. Like there were some things that I was like, because it's about the Greek gods, and as we know, it's hard to interpret all the myths and legends, and it's also a children's book, so Rick didn't go overboard in that regard, so I get that. So there's like a few things that I would like point at, but except from that, it was perfect.
Yeah.
Like I forgive that, because like in all like Greek retellings, you need to choose how to include it, what to include, and all of that. So
yeah,
I don't blame him.
Different interpretations of different things that happened in the mythology. So it was really fun. It was fun being in Percy's head. He's a fun person.
Yeah, he's a very fun person.
So fun, even though he's kind of unhinged sometimes. Kind of like, okay, you really said that, or you thought that.
You thought that, like, dude.
Yeah.
And really,
That's
all
cute.
the characters just got to me. They got to my heart.
Characters. So good. I'm really excited.
Amazing.
I think I want to read the next, like the other series that Rick Riordan has.
Yeah, it's about
The Heroes of Olympus, I believe.
I actually like a chapter in here. Yeah, the Heroes of Olympus, the Lost Hero. This is the first book in the series that comes after.
Yeah.
And there's made a lot of books.
So it's a lot to read.
Yeah, here's the Red Pyramid, like about Egyptian mythology.
So, yeah.
And he also made one about Norse mythology, which is very fun.
That's fun.
That is
Maybe
very
we should
fun.
get into that.
Maybe we should get into that.
So yeah, loved.
Loved. So good.
And I'm excited to reread.
Yes.
Basically.
Me too.
Excited.
Okay, so that's all we've read so far. Actually, I have read 30 books, which was my or books/manga, which was my Goodreads goal. So
Yay! I have not read. I also have my goal at 30. I have read 22, I believe. So I'm a bit behind, or not behind,
because we're just in the middle of September, so you have time.
Yeah, I have time. I'm not behind according to Goodreads, but according to you,
Maybe I should up my goal a bit.
Maybe you should.
I read much more this year than I did last year, so I don't know what to put. Anyways, that was it so far.
That's it so far.
We're excited for the rest of the year. We'll see what we can do.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much for watching,
Yes.
and we'll see you in the next one.
See you in the next one.